What's it been like in the aftermath of what happened last weekend?
I mean, in general, it's been fine. Obviously, on Monday, we've done the debrief and looked at where we went wrong and things we could have done better. But after that, I think it's, although we were massively disappointed, we kind of need to push on. We knew, obviously, we had this game coming up. So after Monday, after the debrief, it was full focus on Aberdeen.
It's not been too many results like that for Livingston, has there, over the past few years? Does that make it a bit difficult to deal with?
You probably, like you said, in the main against like the Old Firm and the top teams in the league, the results have been pretty decent, pretty solid. So that was obviously kind of one that was a really poor result. And one as players and staff have obviously, like I said, we've looked and where we went wrong and things we can do better for next time. And then full focus again for Saturday. So we look forward to it. Obviously, they've got a new manager and I think he's tried to implement a few things while he's been at the sidelines and stuff. So we'll be well prepared.
And plenty at stake, so that keeps you right up for it.
Well, exactly. We know we need to have a massive push. This is the last few games we've got in the league and this cup game as well. We want to have another good cup run and starts tomorrow.
Cheers.
Jason, can you use you and the players use the kind of the pain of the disappointment of what happened in the League Cup final as almost an added spur to really give that added incentive to try and get back to another cup final and maybe make amends?
Of course, I think as players, like you said, when you get a poor result in a cup final like that, you want to get back the next time and put it right. Tomorrow's a chance to progress to the next round. And from there, you're maybe only 2 or 3 games away from a final. So we want to get there, but we know Aberdeen standing away at the moment, and we know how difficult a game it's going to be.
I mean, when you guys were up at Pittodrie at the start of February, you won 2-0, and my recollection of that game is you gave Aberdeen a real going over, pretty much from start to finish in that one. I mean, a repeat performance of that would be pretty good, wouldn't it?
It would be good, but I think it'll be a totally different game. Obviously, change of manager. Usually when a team gets a change of manager, the players get a lift or a reaction. There's a new manager coming in, everyone wants to impress. So again, I think anytime you go up there, it's a difficult game, and tomorrow will be no different.
Right. All the best.
Yes.
Hi Jason, how are you?
All good, thanks.
Good stuff, good stuff. Your last away win was 2 months ago up at Pittodrie. Any reason why you can't have a repeat performance?
No, there's no reason why not. Like I said before, obviously we want a reaction from last week's game. We want to get a positive result on the flip. We'll be looking to impress our new manager. I think it's his first game, kind of in the dugout. So it makes for a good contest and a good cup tie.
Does the fact that it's Stephen Glass in the dugout for Aberdeen now, does that make them harder to kind of plan to play against, because they're kind of an unknown quantity, are they not?
Yeah, you could say that. I think from the games that obviously the interim managers were in charge, and since he was appointed, I think you can see they've tried to put some sort of stamp on it in the way that he wants to play. So we've seen a few clips on that. But like you said, we don't know totally what they're going to bring, but we'll be prepared either way.
How important would it be to get the first goal in this one? Because then you would really see what the new Aberdeen are made of, wouldn't you?
First goal in any game is massively important. It gives you that confidence in the game and something to hold on to. So, no, it'll be difficult, but again, one that we look forward to, and it makes for a good game. And
the fact that this year, finally, for me, the Scottish Cup, it's played to a finish. There's got to be extra time and penalties, if necessary, on the day. Does that add to the kind of excitement even more for you?
I think as players, ideally you want to get it done in 90 minutes. Obviously, you know that there's not going to be any replays, so you want to win it on the day. You want to go out and do everything you can on the day to win the game and put the tie to bed.
Great, thank you. Good luck.
Yes, thanks.
Jason, is this a wee chance maybe to kick-start the season again and get back to another run that you were on, maybe just the turn of the year, do you think?
I think it's maybe a good thing to put a small run together. Obviously there's 4 league games left and obviously your cup game, so it'd be an ideal time as we want to finish the season strong. So if we can start that tomorrow, then great.
obviously your cup run in the Betfred, as you mentioned before, you can use that as well. Do you take a confidence from that as well, that on your day you're as good as anyone in the league?
Yeah, I think, albeit in the end the final was a disappointment, I think you can take confidence in the fact that, like you said, we could progress through some tricky ties, and got to the final, and I think as players that's where you want to be. It doesn't happen very often for Livingston, but we want to try and make it a regular thing if we can. That'd be amazing for the club. So I think it just boils down to the hard work and determination to keep trying to reach these National Cup finals in the latter stages.
Just similarly, obviously, to the Betfred Cup, Jason, how important are these sort of cup runs for a club like Livingston?
I think they're massive. I think you've seen how important the last one was when we reached the final. I think if you can get a good run in the cup, it can shift the momentum into the league games as well. So I think it all ties in nicely. So we want to try and do that again, and again it starts tomorrow.
Perhaps with Celtic and Rangers facing each other so early on in this year's competition, does that add an extra incentive that obviously only after this round there's only going to be one of them left?
I think so. I think all the teams left in the competition will be looking at that, and obviously, like you said, one of the old firm teams are not going to be in the competition any longer. So I think either way, at the same time, there's still a lot of good teams in the draw. So no, it's a difficult game tomorrow, and we'll see what it brings.
Thanks, Jason.
Cheers.
Right.
Good stuff.
Davey, how's this week been? Has there been a bit of upheaval with the day being changed and plans, etc., or how's it worked out for you?
A little bit, Sheila, to be honest. We were in training. I think it was about 11 o'clock. We'd already started training, and Derek had said to us the game had been moved. But I actually thought we were the game that wouldn't get moved with our game being on the Sunday, so we thought we were okay, to be honest. But yeah, the game got moved, so we had to rejig a couple of things, change the boys' day off. But all good now.
Was it a bit frustrating for you that you were the game that got moved in the end?
It isn't. It's not. Listen, it's understandable. You can understand why games are getting moved. I just didn't think our game would have been moved. Obviously, with us being on the Sunday, we were scheduled for the Sunday, but it is what it is, and you just get on with it.
We're speaking to Jason there about the debrief you had to have on Monday after the game. How have the players responded so far?
Okay, Sheila, we take every game in isolation. Like I've said that, it's one game at a time. So when you're winning games of football, it's very easy. And when you lose a game of football, you've got to put it into isolation. You've got to identify where it went wrong, what went right and what went wrong. And obviously more went wrong than went right on the day. But it's quite easy to identify that and take it in isolation.
Can I just ask where you are with regards to the UEFA licence at the moment? Is it something you're still hopeful?
Yeah, we're still ongoing. The club are working hard behind the scenes to meet as much of the criteria as possible. COVID's played a massive part in that. We had, I think it was 5 teams all set up last year, all recruited and ready to go, then COVID hit. So it's made no sense to try and get up and running until there's a wee bit clarity of what's happening with Club Academy Scotland and youth football. So for the Club Academy side of things, we've got the coaches in place, we've got people identified. It's just a matter of getting the green light and then pushing on with that. But there is special dispensation for clubs due to sporting integrity, and I think it's mainly, if for talking sake, and a different, like the Championship, maybe someone in the Championship won the Scottish Cup, which gives them a European place. So there is a special dispensation with UEFA, and it's based on sporting integrity. But we believe that we fall into that criteria. We were in the Premier League roughly 18 months, and we had our youth academy all ready to get back up and running, and COVID hit. So it's been really difficult to implement that, pick that back up from last March, or we would have been in a very, very strong position with having the club academy back up and running this time if it wasn't for COVID in March.
So you're hopeful it can be resolved and you just focus on the football side of things?
I just focus on the football side, but I've looked at the various rules and regulations, and I think we do fall into the sporting integrity. There's got to be, I think you get it's like a 12-month waiver that you have to get everything up and running within that 12-month period. And I think I've been assured by Robert and John that we're in a good place for that to happen. So hopefully if we can achieve European football, and that's still a big ask in itself, but hopefully if we can achieve European football, the sporting integrity side will come in here through UEFA.
Thank you.
David, I know that you were trying to use that carrot of European football obviously as a motivation to players. Is it important that they realise as well that that's still something they can go for? You can go for silverware in this competition, and then European football is a possibility, and it's still something you can.
That's a collective effort, obviously. But again, we very much work on individual games, take the game in isolation. We've got a fantastic opportunity to go up to Aberdeen and try and get to the next round of the Scottish Cup, which gives you Dundee United at home. And we fancy ourselves at home against anyone, but obviously Aberdeen are in that way, so inward way. So there's a lot to play for the season. We've got 5th place, we've got potentially 4th place, and we've got a Scottish Cup place at stake. So there's still a lot to play for within the season.
Obviously, you got a great win at Pittodrie recently, but new management, does that add a different wee edge to the game? You try to work out what Stephen Glass is going to bring to the table?
Yeah, I think so. I think the players are going to have that wee extra edge about them. But I would say I do believe since Derek left and Stephen was appointed, I think you can see Stephen's influence in the team already. There has been subtle changes to the way Aberdeen have went about their business. They've changed their shape. They've came for the 3-4-2-1. They're playing a 4-2-3-1 now. So the shape's changed. They're probably playing out for the back a little bit more and they're trying to get the ball down. So I think you can see Stephen's influences even before Stephen was back in training or taking training. So I think since Stephen got announced, he's been putting his views across to Paul and the coaching staff that were at Aberdeen. So I think you can see the changes for yourself in the previous games.
Cheers, David.
David, can you use the run you had in the League Cup, almost as an added motivation going into this game? Because, okay, the final didn't go how you wanted, but it was still great to have got to the final and be part of that. I mean, can you use the kind of pain and the experience of that cup run, to take into your Scottish Cup run?
I think you can use both. You've got to use the pain. You've got to remember how it felt. But first and foremost, you've got to try and get to a cup final again. So I think we all agree that cup runs are special and they're added bonuses throughout the season. They are for a club of our size. So anything we can do in the cup is going to be an added bonus. To get to one cup final already has been phenomenal. So if we could do that again, it would be even better. Again, the chances of winning the cup have increased slightly with either of the Old Firm getting knocked out. So it's a fantastic opportunity for every club that's left in the Scottish Cup to try and get to a cup final again.
And I know Gavin touched on the fact that you had that great win up at Pittodrie at the start of February. I mean, I remember speaking to you after it and saying I was kind of blown away by the way you played that night. You gave Aberdeen a going over from start to finish, particularly in the first half. I mean, a repeat of that would be just what the doctor ordered, wouldn't it?
I'll take that in now. No, it was brilliant. I think Julian Serrano put in a ball early doors and Joe Kindy fumbled it into the side of his net. And I think that gave us an early foothold in the game. Aberdeen then became a wee bit open in that game and we scored a second goal. And from that point onwards, we changed our shape and we matched them up and we were hard to break down. So a repeat for performance would be brilliant, to be honest.
Can I just ask you just slightly away from tomorrow's game? Your captain was on Sports Sound last night, David, and he said that they've agreed, the squad have agreed that should there be any incidents of racism during a game, that they would walk off the pitch and not return. I take it from a manager's point of view, you would echo that sentiment. And have you been involved with those kind of the discussions that have obviously been taking place among the squad? No,
I've told Marv. Marv's working for the SFA now, and Marv's the captain of the football club, and we've got a lot of black players in the changing room. And I've said to him, I'll take my lead from Marvin. So Marvin speaks to the squad, and I think Marvin's the best placed at the club, if I'm honest, to decide what course of action we would take. And if there was any racial abuse on the park and that meant the squad walking off, I'd back them 100%.
Because it's so important, isn't it, with such a serious issue that, a stand is taken, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's very important, but I do believe Scottish football is in a very good place. I may be wrong in saying that, but from my experience, I've been here 7 years now. I've never seen any racial abuse on the park with any of my players or any of the opposition players. So I do think Scottish football's in a good place and we're a leading example. I think the bigger problem lies within Europe, if I'm honest, and what UEFA can do to stamp it out of the game. It's going to be very, very difficult, but it's something we've all got to strive to try and eradicate from football. Domestically, I think we're in a good place. We probably can get better. Of course we can get better, but I think we're in a good place and everybody respects one another, especially on the field.
Brilliant, thank you.
Hi, Davy. After last weekend's result against Celtic, beating Aberdeen tomorrow, that would be a brilliant way to bounce back, would it not?
Yeah. Any sort of victory tomorrow would be a brilliant way to bounce back. You're going to Parkhead, and to be honest, when you go to the Old Firm and you're playing away from home, you need the Old Firm to be a wee bit under the weather, not probably play to their best, and you've got to play especially well. You've got to be bang at it. And Saturday we were probably the ones that didn't play to our strengths, and to be honest, Celtic were bang at it. And I was conscious of not taking away. I thought Celtic were fantastic on Saturday. I really did. I thought they were fantastic. They were back to the Celtic that I've known of recent, and I thought they were brilliant. And I didn't want to be disrespectful to Celtic by saying how poor we were, but we were poor. But on the other hand, I thought Celtic were brilliant. And
if you could grab this game tomorrow by the scruff of the neck in the same way that you did last time you were at Pittodrie, you know, nick the first goal, that could be the key to this tie, could it not?
Yeah, 100%. But if I've learned anything in football, you never get two games the same. So I hope you're right there, if I'm honest. But I think the first goal is going to be very important. It's definitely going to be very important tomorrow. It's cup football, and you only get potentially one chance at it. So the first goal is always vital in cup football. Of course, no replays this season, David. Does that change your approach at all, knowing that the time must be decided on the day? Not really. It may change the approach in the latter stages. If you were into extra time, it may change that approach. But I've never been into a game looking to go into a game to get a replay, to be honest. So it will not change our approach. Maybe later on in the game, if you are in extra time with penalties coming up, your approach would slightly change, but no. And of course, finally for me, your last away win was a couple of months ago up at Pittodrie. No reason why you can't do the same again, is there? No, Aberdeen will be saying the same things, but they'll be looking for revenge for the 2-0 defeat they got up there. So yeah, be a great way to put Saturday to bed and progress to the next round of the cup. And just one more, sorry. You know, Stephen Glass obviously in charge for his first game. In what way might that make Aberdeen a more dangerous proposition? I think you always get a bounce from the team when a new manager comes in. I think it's well known that Stephen was coming in, he was in quarantine, so they've maybe had that bounce. But I think with Stephen being on the touchline, every single Aberdeen player that are involved tomorrow will be wanting to impress a new manager. Thanks very much, good luck.
David, you touched upon that the cup runs for a club like Livingston are an added bonus. After what happened in the Betfred Cup, do you think maybe going on from next season it should become more of a priority for silverware for a club like Livingston?
It's always been a priority. We always look to do well in the cups, but it's extremely difficult trying to do that when you're up against the bigger teams. So I think yeah, it's always a priority. And historically, over the last 4 or 5 years, we've always done really well in the League Cup. Again, we've not done so well in the Scottish Cup, and that's something that personally and collectively we need to do better. And I've always wanted to try and get a run in the Scottish Cup with Livingston. We've never done it. I've been here 7 years, so it's something from a personal point of view that I would like to try and make us better at, for wanting a better word. I'd like to be a wee bit more positive with, and I'm sure the squad are all the same.
Cheers.
Oh, team news, Davey. How's the team news?
No telling you, because then Stephen will know. No new injuries.
It's all looking good.
It's all looking good.
And that's it.
At least I'm honest, come on.
Absolutely. Brilliant. Great answer.
All the best tomorrow, Davey.
Fantastic. Thanks, Davey. See you tomorrow.
See you soon.
Bye.
Take care. Bye.
Thanks, Derek.